Hello, everybody. It's time for my Gameweek 6 Premier League reactions. So let's jump straight into it. First game, Newcastle versus Manchester City. I predicted it would be a fairly routine win for Manchester City. I said it would be Newcastle 1, Manchester City 3. What actually happened is that it was a draw. Newcastle 1, Manchester City 1. And this is becoming not a very happy hunting ground for Man City, Newcastle away, just like it's been for Spurs. They actually do struggle to get, a full 3 points here. They often clip out a draw. Look, they're not like Spurs getting losses, but they often clip out a draw. They just can't seem to get a win at this stadium. So, yeah, as it turned out, it was a draw. Newcastle 1, Manchester City 1. Alexander Isak is injured, however. You wonder, if they'd had him fit, maybe they could have even won the game, Newcastle. But Manchester City now without Rodri, it's gonna be interesting to see how it is. He really was just absolutely bossing their midfield and being a general in that midfield. So now they're going to have to rely on Gundogan even more. Gundogan and Kovacic are really going to have to come up big to try and control the midfield and be the general there. So yeah, let's see how they do. But yeah, it was Newcastle 1, Manchester City 1. Second game, Chelsea versus Brighton. I said it would be Chelsea 2, Brighton 0. I got the score margin right. I just went way too low scoring. What actually happened was a 6-goal thriller. And all of the 6 goals happened in the first half. Nothing happened in the second half. It was Chelsea 4, Brighton 2. And all 4 goals from Chelsea came from Cole Palmer. Yeah, 4 goals in one half of football. That's absolutely incredible. And it's not even the first time Cole Palmer's done it. He did it last season against Everton. He scored 4 goals. So, yeah, I mean, this guy's just really, really good. And it's just an absolute bargain and a gem that Chelsea managed to get off of Man City. Yeah, he's doing really well. And Chelsea are doing really well. And I'm starting to worry a little bit. I thought they'd be a lot slower now with the new manager and getting back into speed. I thought they would have to get used to each other again. They'd have to gel together. But it's kind of just all come together quite nicely so far. And maybe Maresca's style is really suiting them. And I said maybe his style might stifle Cole Palmer a bit. Well, it certainly hasn't stifled him so far. He's one of the top goal scorers in the league currently. And 4 goals in one half of football. Clearly, he's not being stifled too much. So, and Brighton aren't like an absolute walkover team. They're a pretty decent opposition. So, you know what? They're upper mid-table. So, yeah, 4-2, really convincing. Yeah, and Chelsea, I hope they don't keep going on quite as good momentum as they're going now. Yeah, because they're looking quite frightening currently. Third game was Brentford versus West Ham. I got this one spot on. I said it would be Brentford 1, West Ham 1. And I was right. It was exactly Brentford 1, West Ham 1. Yeah, this was quite predictable. 2 very mid-table top teams at the moment. Brentford actually doing better than West Ham. West Ham had a really bad start to the season. They're currently sitting in, I think it's 14th or 15th in the league after this end of this game week. And yeah, they had such a good transfer window. They got in some really good players. They got in a pretty decent manager, but they're just not clicking. They're not gelling. They're not doing what they need to. Players aren't hitting the ground running. New signings. Some new signings aren't being used. Some are injured. Yeah, it's kind of just been falling apart the first 6 weeks for them here with Lopetegui in the league. It really has just been falling apart. And in the Carabao Cup as well. Got smashed 5-1 by Liverpool. They're out of that now too. After actually taking the lead. So, you know what? They really do seem to be in a bit of a mess at the moment. But Brentford also just can't really seem to claw onto too many victories. They, especially with this new thing they've got going where they score in the first minute in 3 consecutive games. They've now done it. But quite damningly, in all 3 of those games, they've failed to get all 3 points. They got 0 points against Manchester City. They got 0 points against Tottenham, and now they've only got 1 point against West Ham. So, yeah, I mean, if you're them, you're really happy that, you've got 3 first-minute goals in a row, but you're also really not happy, I think, that after a start like that, you've only been able to take 1 out of a possible 9 points. So, yeah, Thomas Frank also facing a little bit of pressure now. But Mbeumo doing the business. Mbeumo can't be one of the reasons Brentford aren't doing super well at the moment. He's been playing really well. But yeah, Brentford won, West Ham won. Next game, I said it would be a very routine, non-stressful afternoon for Arsenal, getting a 3-0 victory over Leicester. What actually happened was they got the result, but it happened a lot more stressfully, I think, than a lot of Arsenal fans would have wanted. And I can imagine it could have been a bit of a nerve-wracking game for them to have watched. But yeah, good as a neutral, 6 goals. Ended up being Arsenal 4, Leicester 2. And Leicester actually really made Arsenal sweat a little bit. Arsenal were 2-0 up, they were cruising. And then suddenly Leicester's right back, James Justin, smashes 2 in. One absolute wonder goal, and it's 2-2. And leading into extra time, it's still 2-2. And Arsenal are maybe thinking, oh, flip here, we've dropped 2 points. But alas, Leicester give them a helping hand. Wilfred Ndidi gets an own goal, and Kai Havertz scores, and then just increases the advantage in the 99th minute of the game. And Arsenal win 4-2. And like Cole Palmer, that's another player who's just absolutely flying at the moment. Kai Havertz, he's doing so well. He's done so well for Arsenal since he moved from Chelsea. And a lot of people predicted he'd be a flop. And for the first couple of months he was at Arsenal, it was kind of seeming that way. But boy, is it definitely not that way now. He's really off the mark. He's doing well, and he's doing very well in that striker role. And yeah, maybe Arteta was fine to just gamble on Havertz doing that striker role this season. Maybe he really was fine. Yeah, but good win for Arsenal still, but a lot more stressful probably than they were hoping for. Next game, Nottingham Forest versus Fulham. I said it would be an exciting 2-2 draw. What actually happened was a very unexciting 1-0 victory to Fulham. With Raul Jimenez getting a penalty in the second half. And that was enough. And Raul Jimenez has actually been coming pretty good at Fulham after his nightmare post-head injury at Wolves. So yeah, fair play to them. Fulham had a very good start to the season. They're 6th in the league. So this is their joint best performance after 6 games that they've ever had. They've got 11 points after their first 6 games, which is more than Tottenham, more than Tottenham. I know. So they're 6th in the league, and well done to them. They've had a good start. Next game was Wolves versus Liverpool. A lot of people were predicting quite a heavy defeat for Wolves at the hands of Liverpool here, but I just figured, you know what? Wolves are at home. They kind of need to start stringing some type of performances together. And there's always historically been pretty tight games between Wolves and Liverpool. So I went sensible and I said Wolves 1, Liverpool 2. And I was actually spot on. It was, exactly. Wolves 1, Liverpool 2. And as I predicted, Wolves actually gave Liverpool a decent run. And they really did try. They really gave a game. And but Liverpool just do have that little bit too much extra quality. And Wolves are now looking pretty bad. They're sitting rock bottom in the league. They haven't won a single game yet. It's getting really concerning for them. It's getting really concerning for Wolves. They could be in real trouble here if something doesn't change really quickly. But yeah, now on to the Sunday games. Third last game was Ipswich versus Aston Villa. I thought this would be a fairly comfortable win for Aston Villa, but Ipswich would give it a bit of a go because they're the home team. I said it would be Ipswich 0, but Aston Villa's quality just shining through in the end and being Aston Villa 2. What actually happened was a very exciting 2-2 draw and a very surprising and hard-fought-for point by Ipswich. And 2 points dropped by Aston Villa, which you would think you don't really want to do against someone who's just newly promoted. You don't want to be dropping the points to them. But yeah, alas, Villa and us Tottenham have now dropped 2 points to teams that have just now been newly promoted. And both in away games, and probably both fixtures, Villa and Spurs would have wanted to get all 3 points from. But Ipswich gave it a really good go, and it was actually Ipswich 2, Aston Villa 2. So really well done to Ipswich. Now, second last game. Manchester United versus Tottenham. I think I had very little faith. I said Manchester United 2, Tottenham 1, because Man United, no matter what form they're in, always kind of seem to get a result against us, especially when they were the home team. But you know what? This time, not this time. What actually happened this time was Manchester United 0, Tottenham 3. And that felt so good. That felt good. We needed that. We absolutely needed that. A good, confident win, clean sheet against a big six opposition. We capitalized on a team that's just finding such poor form and inconsistency at the moment. And sometimes we often don't do that. They give us, we have the nickname of Dr. Tottenham. When you're struggling, you play us suddenly or you get a result. Not this time. No Dr. Tottenham this time. This time we were Coroner Tottenham. You were about to be dead, and we just dug your grave. We dug the grave for Manchester United there. They were coming off poor form, drew with Twente, lost to Brighton, lost at home 3-0 to Liverpool, and we said, you know what? No Dr. Tottenham today. Today we're putting you in the ground. And we did it, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy they did it. Manchester United were hopeless in that game. Absolutely hopeless. Toothless, didn't seem to have a clue where what they were doing. Were they going forward? Were they going back? Were they defending? Were they attacking? Were they trying to hit on the counter? Were they trying to press? I just don't know. And a lot of the pundits and Man United fans don't know either. They don't know what Ten Hag was trying to do. And they said in general, they just don't know when they're watching a Man United game what type of formation, what type of style of play is going to be implemented. Or sometimes even who's going to be their starting 11. Who are they going to play? Are they going to play, are they going to play De Ligt? Are they going to play Maguire? Are they going to play Amad Diallo? Are they going to play Anthony? Are they going to play Højlund? Are they going to play Xerxes? Are they going to play Bruno? Are they going to play Mount? They don't know. They don't know what Ten Hag's style is. And this is his third season. You would want to know exactly what kind of style of play you're going to get. Are you going to get boring defensive? Are you going to get possession-based? Are you going to get attack? Are you going to get counter? Are you going to get press? They don't know that. With Ange, it's his second season, and we know. For better or for worse sometimes, we know what we're getting. We're getting a high line, we're getting attacking, we're getting possession and pressing. We know we're getting that. We know that is what we are getting every single game. No matter what the opposition, no matter whether we have 11 men or 10 men or 9 men, we know we are getting that. So at least there's consistency. And in a game like this, it kind of just showed. We've been coached well to have this style. And in this game, we executed that specific style, which is basically our only style, to perfection. We pressed United to the ground. We attacked full blown. When they went down a man, we didn't adjust our takes. We kept going on, kept attacking. And we got the result. I think if Werner had been a little bit better and more clinical on the day, and you might have had, let's say, a Son there, I think we could have even had 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 more. And a lot of the pundits and the Man United fans agreed. They said if Werner wasn't so wasteful of some of his chances and we had a much better clinical left winger in that position with some of those chances that Werner had, it could have been a 5-0. Could have even been 6-0. Onana even saved them 1 or 2 with some really good saves once or twice. It could have been an ugly scoreline if it not for some of the quality of Onana at some of his stops and for the poor quality of Werner's final product. It could have been worse. But I'm really happy that we got a victory here and a good convincing one at that. And I'm really glad Solanke's now got 3 goals in 3 consecutive games. Long may it continue. Touch wood. Brennan Johnson, 4 in 4. Incredible. That's how you respond to criticism. Well done. That is definitely how you respond to criticism. And he's forcing himself definitely into that starting right winger spot. And Kulusevski in the midfield seems to be working a charm. Maybe that's how we get that. Maybe that is the solution for Kulusevski in our lineup. Have him and Maddison in the midfield, both for creativity, and put then the more defensive guy in the middle, Basuma or Bentancur. And then you put Johnson in the right wing, because at the moment, he's doing pretty good in that right wing. You can't complain. So, yeah, really good result there. Final game, also got spot on. I said Bournemouth 3, Southampton 1. What really happened is it was exactly Bournemouth 3, Southampton 1. Southampton played better in the second half, but only managed to get 1 consolation goal. Bournemouth, pretty comfortable winners. Evan Nielsen getting his first goal as their number 9 since joining the club. And yeah, I think they can be pretty happy. And Southampton, like Wolves, are in really big trouble. Really big trouble. They need to do something, and they need to do something quickly. Whether it's a change of manager or change in style or trying to hang on till January window and then just trying to reinforce as much as you can. They need to do something, because at the moment they're going down, and they look pretty comfortably going down right now. But it's a long season, let's see. But yeah, comfortable win, Bournemouth 3, Southampton 1. That's my reactions to this game week. Europa League game starting tomorrow. Man United playing Porto away from home. That's quite a tough one, I think. And Tottenham playing Fenerbahce away from home. Also both away fixtures, but I think Tottenham's is definitely on paper easier. But yeah, we've now got 4 victories in a row. I really hope we can make it 5. I really hope so. Against Fenerbahce, we really should. But you know what? I think maybe we're away from home. We might be a little bit fatigued. We might be playing a bit of a rotation squad. Yeah, I'm going to go for Fenerbahce 1, Tottenham 2. But anyway, there we go. And as always, come on, you Spurs.